Welcome back to BucklesBerry Lemonade, the podcast where we serve up tales that are as chilling as they are true. I'm your host, Lisa, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Tim.
Thank you, my darling. Tonight we delve into stories of individuals who unknowingly brushed shoulders with some of the most infamous serial killers in history, and they lived to tell the tale.
These are the harrowing accounts of near misses, where a simple twist of fate spared them from becoming another statistic. So pour yourself a glass of lemonade, settle in, and prepare for a journey into the shadows of chance and survival.
Stay tuned, guys. This is going to be a good one. In the 1970s, a young couple embarked on a night hike in Provo Canyon, Utah, just seeking an adventure under the stars. As they ascended the trail, an unsettling feeling washed over them. They began to sense they were not alone. They just dismissed it as their nerves and continued their hike. However, on the descent, the man stumbled over something in the darkness. To their shock, they realized it was a person hiding along the path. Completely unnerved, they hurried back to their car, unaware that they had just encountered Ted Bundy, one of America's most notorious serial killers. Bundy was convicted of multiple murders and executed on January 24, 1989. While he confessed to 30 homicides, some experts believe his actual victim count could be higher. Now, this incident serves as a haunting reminder of the dangers that can lurk in the shadows, even in an innocent outing.
A narrow escape from darkness. In the late 1970s, a Reddit user shared that their father attended high school with Jeffrey Dahmer. One evening, Dahmer extended a dinner invitation to the father, who declined due to an uneasy feeling about Dahmer's mother. Years later, upon Dahmer's arrest for heinous crimes, the father realized he had narrowly avoided a potentially dangerous situation.
The following is the second encounter with Ted Bundy. In the early 1970s, Pam Bryan, a student at Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah, she experienced a chilling encounter that would haunt her for years. It was a rainy day. She happened to notice a well-dressed, handsome man seeking shelter under the Wilkinson Center's patio. As she approached, he engaged her in conversation, mentioning he was from out of town and needed to reach his car without getting his suit wet. Pam, being trusting and kind-hearted, agreed to walk him to the vehicle, sharing her umbrella with the handsome stranger.
They traversed multiple sections of the parking lot, each step taking them further from the campus hub. When Pam inquired about the car's location, the man assured her it was just a bit further. Suddenly, she felt a tug on the belt of her raincoat. Instinctively, she pulled away and created distance between them. The stranger attempted to calm her, insisting he meant no harm, and even offered her umbrella back. Uneasy, Pam declined and hurried back to the safety of the campus.
Initially, Pam chastised herself for overreacting, fearing she'd been rude to a visitor. However, years later, while watching a television program, about the notorious serial killer Ted Bundy, she was struck by a horrifying realization. The man she encountered, he bore an unmistakable resemblance to Ted Bundy. Reflecting on her timing and the location of her experience, Pam became convinced that she had narrowly escaped becoming one of Ted Bundy's victims. This revelation left her shaken, just as it would us all, reminding her and us a stark reminder of the dangers that can lurk behind a charming facade. Now, according to a Reddit user, sometime in the 1970s, a teenager from Thousand Oaks, California, had a chilling encounter with William Bonin, later known as the Freeway Killer. The user recounted meeting a man named George at a local pool hall. After a few weeks, George offered to drive the teenager to lunch. During the ride, George suddenly placed the teenager in a headlock, threatening to kill and dispose of him in a nearby dumpster. The teenager remained calm, which seemed to dissuade George from following through with whatever diabolical plan he had. He released the teenager and drove back to the pool hall. It wasn't until later, upon seeing news reports, that the teenager realized George was indeed William Bonin. Bonin would be convicted of murdering 14 young men and boys between 1979 and 1980. He was executed in 1996.
A Ride with Death. Steve Fishman's brush with a serial killer. In 1975, 19-year-old Steve Fishman was hitchhiking from Boston to Norwich, Connecticut. During his journey, a man offered him a ride. Unbeknownst to Fishman, this driver was Robert F. Carr III, a serial killer who preyed on hitchhikers. Fishman sensed something unsettling during the ride, but managed to reach his destination unharmed. Weeks later, news broke of Carr's arrest and his confessions to multiple murders. Fishman realized he had narrowly escaped becoming one of Carr's victims. This harrowing experience profoundly impacted Fishman, shaping his future career as a journalist.